Raise on my levels, I'm doing it. I'm bought some Balenciagas and ruined them. That shit on the dash, I'm doing it. The vision, the line, I'm doing it. My queen on the shit and she doing it. Wanted she only was on it. I'm with the kids and I'm in the gym and I'm in the studio doing it.
Welcome to Tuesday. We have arrived. We have made it. And it's time for another wonderful show. It is time. And you know it's time for this too.
Too much shit I do. Let that peon loose. You got that peon juice. Peon, we're on cool. Talk my shit. I bought a new stick. Ain't glad on shooting no shit.
Mara. Hello. We got Mara in the building. Good. Well, it's afternoon now. Good afternoon, Mara. Hello. What's going on with you, brother Julio? I'm feeling pretty good. Hold on, let me pick a little groove that YouTube ain't gonna hate on. You know what I'm saying? Good morning, Felicia. Good morning, Nat. Oh, and also, Felicia, I got your email. I did get it. I just haven't responded yet. I've been quite busy, but thank you so much for sending that through. But I sent out the newsletter yesterday, recapping what we discussed, what the members discussed on our meeting on Sunday. And I am getting to work putting everything together. I'm very excited about everything. Very excited about everything. Reaching out to people in my network to see what we need to do in terms of web development, see what we need to do in terms of just getting everything set up. So I am very busy on that, and I will keep everybody updated on the progress. Bibliophile, hello. Hello. But yes, we got a bit of things to go over today. A decent amount of footage of the ex-idiot in chief.
You know, US, did you know that us is US? It's like the same thing. I didn't realize that until, I just happened to stumble upon it. I've been alive for almost 78 years and I never noticed that US looks like us.
What a genius. What a stable genius. You know what I'm saying? We got that. What else we got today? We got, another attorney done flipped on him. We got another one, you know what I'm saying? Another attorney done flipped on him. We got the Murphy Show. Hello, what's going on? Mystery Moon, what's going on? Let's take this hit and then we're going to get into it. Man, these lawyers is flipping on Trump like it's the cure for cancer in that motherfucker. They flipping on Trump like it's the cure for AIDS on the other side of that motherfucker, man. Trump cannot keep nobody in line, but you know what? That's his own fault because he can't stay in line for nobody himself. Donald Trump don't like to pay people. He throws his own children under the bus. So it's really to no surprise that people are turning on him because what's the point in sticking by a man's side like that? Mike Knights, what's going on, my brother? We got Lord of Bananas in the building, and we got a nice funky little groove playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's take this hit and then we're going to get into it. Yes, exactly. Genius. The genius, Donald Trump. You know what I mean? With some nice house music in the background. Cheers, everybody. Let's get to it. Woo! Good morning, Aaron. That does sound nice. That sounds really nice. It's a beautiful day up here in northern New Jersey. It's about 60 degrees, sunny. And I am feeling quite encouraged by the likes of you guys. We got the 1804. What's going on? Yes, indeed. Happy Tuesday it is. We made it past Monday. We are now at, what do you call this? What? Breaking news. Republican Tom Emmer wins Speaker nomination. And GOP's third try for gavel. So let's just go ahead and go over that first. I just got the breaking news story sent to my phone, so we might as well go ahead and start off with that. So let me open that up real quick. Give me a moment to open up the story, and we'll just go ahead and start there. Um, hold on. I opened up a couple of stories, so I just want to make sure that okay. I don't want to lead y'all astray. All right, let's start off with the GOP nominating a third person. All right. Oh yeah, yeah. That hit I took was phenomenal. That's why I ain't take another one. You know what I'm saying? I took one. We got Brooke. We got Brewski Dragon. Hello, what's going on? All right, let's go ahead and start with this. Tom Emmer wins Speaker nomination in GOP's third try for the gavel. We got Dora. Hello, hello. Oh, well, I'm glad that you could stop in and say hi. It's good, always good to have you here. Enjoy your time with your family. Tom Emmer. All right, let's see what's up. House Republicans nominated House Majority Whip Tom Emmer for Speaker on Tuesday, making him the third GOP lawmaker who will attempt to get 217 votes to secure the gavel in the past 3 weeks. The conference selected Emmer, the number 3 House Republican, for the position in a secret ballot during an internal election that lasted 3 hours, choosing him over 6 other candidates vying for the job. 2 Republicans withdrew their names from the race before voting began. They was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get up out of this. I'm not even gonna waste my time." And I really can't blame them. You really can't blame them. Hold on one second. You really can't blame them. Oh, Fritza, hello, welcome. You really can't blame them for not wanting to throw their hat in the ring. Emmer, 62, will now take his nomination to the House floor, where he will have to muster enough votes to win the gavel, a heavy lift that the previous 2 GOP Speaker nominees failed to achieve. If all lawmakers are present and vote for a specific candidate, Emmer will need at least 217 votes. It may also be a hard climb for Emmer. In conference, he got 117 votes on the final ballot, while House Republican Conference Vice Chair Mike Johnson got 97. The conference is taking a roll call to see how much support the Minnesota Republican may have as the nominee. Emmer may also have to contend having a less conservative voting record than some members would like. And look at this though. Like I was saying, it would be really funny because no matter how this ends, the Republican Party is really just taking the brunt end of the damage from it because it's their fault. They did it to themselves. But like I was saying, what would be just ultimately hilarious? One, if Hakeem Jeffries became Speaker under a Republican majority, which I don't really suspect would happen. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it did, that would be unbelievably hilarious. Then apparently this guy, and again, I don't know a ton about his voting record, but it says right here that some of the members may be upset that he has a less conservative voting record. So they got rid of Kevin McCarthy, if they ended up getting somebody more liberal than him. Like, how funny would that be? But it says he has voted in favor of codifying same-sex marriage, in favor of spending bills and a debt limit deal that outraged hardliners, and opposed votes on January 6, 2021, objecting to 2020 election results. That's such a low bar, but nonetheless, I get this. Be like, how dare you vote to codify same-sex marriage? And other than that, everything else is like unbelievably just common sense, like objecting the 2020 election results. But again, that's why I said the Republican Party is really just nuts. They're really far off the deep end now. He doesn't mind if gay people get married. We can't have that shit. Rep. Rich Allen said he will not back Emmer for Speaker because of his vote in favor of Respect for Marriages Act, which was passed by Congress last year and gives federal protections to same-sex marriages. Oh my God, y'all got to get with the times, man. Y'all got to get with the times. Rep. Ralph Norman said Tuesday that the conservative House Freedom Caucus is not committing to backing Emmer on the floor. We'll see. All of them have different characters, different qualities, and we'll see how it goes, he told reporters when asked if he would back Emmer. Quote, we want to sit down with whoever gets it as a freedom caucus and understand what their roles will be, what they want to push and things like that, he added. Emmer's nomination is the latest development in a long-winded speaker saga, which has fractured the GOP conference and left the House at a standstill. So we'll see what's up, man. Today marks 3 weeks since 8 Republicans. Isn't it funny how fast time goes? I mean, I guess it's funny and sad at the same time, but 8 Republicans and 3 weeks later, nothing. And like I was laughing about, where's Matt Gaetz now? You know, Matt Gaetz is nowhere to be found now. Before they got rid of Kevin McCarthy, even if you didn't pay attention to politics, you could not see him. You would log on Instagram or log on just Google CNN, MSNBC, Fox, whatever it is that you consume, and there he was. And now, nowhere to be found. Seems like he's a little embarrassed. And for Emmer, the no-nonsense former collegiate hockey player, Tuesday marks the pinnacle of his career on Capitol Hill. The Minnesota Republican came to Congress in 2015 and served 2 stints as chair of the National Republican Campaign Committee before rising to majority whip. Emmer led the House's GOP campaign arm when Republicans regained the majority in 2022, winning a net 9 seats that delivered them their slim 5-seat majority. Since that victory, he has been instrumental in helping the GOP conference secure a list of legislative wins. Even Freedom Caucus members have praised Emmer throughout the year for being an honest broker. His office has been a frequent gathering place for Republicans. I'm sitting here just kind of chuckling to myself because, despite the fact that the Freedom Caucus has apparently given him some praise or said that they're not totally against him, him supporting same-sex marriage, that's a line too far for some Republicans, though, because that goes against what they think, their God and what they think God wants or whatever. But that's kind of funny. Last week, House Republicans voted to drop Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan as the conference nominee after he fell short of the gavel on the 3 floor votes. Before that, we had Steve Scalise, which we know. And he was like, nah. He was like, fuck this. And Jim Jordan was like, I'm not going to back down. And then immediately after he said that, he was like, nah, I got better shit to do. Fuck this. I mean, and again, how can you blame any of these people? How can you blame any of these people? Okay. Oh, well, look at that. He's able to breathe a small sigh of relief because Donald Trump gave him some compliments. I've always gotten along with him, Trump added of Emmer. Okay, we'll see what's up. My guess is it's not going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see what's up. We got G in the building. Hydraulic Dragon, what's going on? But yeah, okay. We'll keep our eyes open. Let's see how long Emmer is willing to keep his hat in the ring. Because, I mean, it took Kevin McCarthy 15 tries. Jim Jordan, Scalise after 1, he was like, eh. Jim Jordan after 3, he said, I'm not going to back out. But then he was like, yeah, I am going to back out. Fuck it. Now, here we go. We'll see what's up with Mr. Emmer. We will see what's up with Mr. Emmer. Now, we got quite a bit of stuff to go over today. Donald Trump had another speech. So let's just get into it and enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it. Trump tells supporters, don't worry about voting on election night. Genius. Absolutely genius. All right.
So we have to be careful. You got to get out there and you got to watch those voters. You don't have to vote. Don't worry about voting. The voting, we got plenty of votes. You got to watch election.
Oh, that was just one short clip. We have several more.
So we have to be careful. You got to get out there and you got to watch those voters. You don't have to vote. Don't worry about voting. The voting, we got plenty of votes. You got to watch election.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it because we got this dude, Donald Trump, was going. I mean, this man cannot be stopped. Nelson Mandela. Look, now, if you know anything about Donald Trump, then you know his greatness. You understand his greatness. You know, Nelson Mandela ain't got nothing on no goddamn Donald Trump. Ugh, my nose. Whew. Ugh. Allergies. I'm sorry. Trump compares himself to Nelson Mandela over his many criminal indictments.
And with this in mind, there's no way I can get a fair trial. You know, I'm supposed to be getting because Donald Trump challenged the election. So let's put him in jail for the rest of his life, okay? Even though it was a crooked election. Do you ever know they only go after the people that challenge the results of the election? They don't go after the people that cheated. Those people are free. Those people have no problem.
He's a little boy. He's just a little boy.
If you want to challenge the result of an election, they hound you. Look what happened this weekend with two good people. They hound them and they scare them but we don't get scared. We don't get scared.
You post prosecutors. He posted Letitia James' address to Truth Social. Like he retweeted something from Laura Loomer, I think, but it had her home address on it. Like,
I'll tell you what, I don't mind being Nelson Mandela because I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for a reason. We got to save our country from these fascists.
I don't mind being Nelson Mandela, says Donald Trump. I'm fighting for the people. I'm in it for the people. He said, I'll go to prison for y'all. Like, no, bro, you're going to go to prison because you made a lot of really stupid mistakes. That's why if you go to prison, that's why you're going to go, because you made a lot of dumb decisions.
These lunatics that we're dealing with, they're horrible people and they're destroying our country. I talk about threats from within and threats from outside. The threats from within, in my opinion, are far more dangerous than the threats of China and Russia.
And one of the craziest things about Trump to me is he's just like, he's so dumb. Like he doesn't know anything about anything, which is why he says a lot of what he does. I mean, for you to say, "Oh, I don't mind being Nelson Mandela," and like he compares, I think at one point he compared himself or some situation he was in to like Martin Luther King or someone, or some of his sycophants on television compared him to Martin Luther King in some type of way. And it's just like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you're just a cheap ass crook. You just a cheap financial crook. Like, that's it. And you're really just a ridiculous person. And yes, hold on, let's see. I think I have this one pulled up because he says that he was never indicted. Which of course he was. Hold up, let me get this one. Let's just watch it from here because I have it pulled up on another website, but we might as well just watch it on here since we on this page already. All right. 4-time indicted Donald Trump claims,
I was never indicted. They indicted me. I did everything right and they indicted me.
Mr. President, you said Sidney Powell wasn't your victim. Are you concerned that you won't be covered by attorney-client privilege?
No, not at all. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing. This is all.
and again, bro, like who talks like this, bro? I mean, like even even career criminals know what to claim You feel me? It's like, look, bro, everybody knows that you a crook. So you might as well just go down for something as light as you can. You feel me? Like they'll try to go down for this instead of that because everybody knows what's up with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so basically what I'm getting at is nobody goes into court. No, and nobody, even in the court of public opinion, you know what I'm saying? I did nothing wrong. I did absolutely nothing wrong. Like, I mean, because you don't really, that's not a defense. You feel me? Like, that's not a real defense. You're just saying, let it go. Just let me skate. Just let me slide. Like, that's all it is, which obviously that's how he's been living his life. But it's just the psychology of it all. It's like, bro, you really don't live, you really are crazy.
Mr. President, you said Sidney Powell wasn't your attorney.
Talking about Sidney Powell was never his attorney, even though, I mean, like, bro, what are you talking about?
Concerned that you won't be covered by attorney-client privilege?
No, not at all. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing. This is all Biden indictments and impeachments, and this is all about Biden. He can't do anything right. The only thing they know how to do is cheat on elections. And
we got Mick in the building. What's popping, my brother? You are you relaxing next to the saltwater pool, or is it not quite yet time for that yet? You know, you're still in work mode. You haven't yet gotten to that time of relaxation in the day.
election fraud. This is all Biden stuff. All of these indictments that you see. I was never indicted. Practically never heard the word. It wasn't a word that registered. And,
what? What did he just say?
Mr. President,
election fraud. This is all Biden stuff. All of these indictments that you see. I was never indicted. Practically never heard the word. It wasn't a word that registered. And this.
Okay, so you got indicted 4 times at age 77, right? And you mean to tell me that in all your years, I practically never heard the word indictment before until I got indicted 4 times in the span of a couple of months. And the things that he's indicted for are so stupid. Practically never heard the word. What are you talking about? You've never heard. I mean, he's just so ridiculous, man. He's such a stain on anybody's public resume. Like at this point, if you working for him, I mean, it's kind of been past that point now, but like, and that is one of Donald Trump's biggest issues. Who wants to be seen with him? Who wants to work with him? The only people that Trump has access to now are the ones at the very bottom of the barrel. And I don't know what you can do with that. I really don't know what he expects to do with that or what his followers expect for him to be able to do with that when the only people you have left are the ones who are at the bottom of the barrel because don't nobody want to fuck with you because you do things like not pay people, throw everyone under the bus, even people who aren't even in line for it, who aren't even in position to be thrown under the bus. You just do it because that's who you are. And if you were to win presidency again, all Donald Trump would do all Donald Trump would do with the second term in office is spite everyone. That's all he would do. He would lash out at the world in any way that he possibly could. That's all he would do because he's a broken man. And that is what's going to keep him from winning. If nothing else keeps Donald Trump from becoming president again, it's going to be because he's too fucking broken. Like he's all over the place, man. He's not some poised, astute politician who's ready to. No, he's just. Blah, blah, and now he ain't got nobody except a bunch of fucking drunk hillbillies in Mississippi and Arkansas and shit. That's all he got left. And I don't know what the fuck you gonna do with that. Especially now, if the election was next month, 2 months from now, oh, we'd have some serious problems on our hands. But this idiot can't help himself, and he ain't got nobody left. It's really just interesting to watch a man destroy himself. Like he wakes up every day. How can I fuck myself today? And he goes and he does it. Like, all right. Dozens of states sue Instagram parent Meta, over addictive features and youth mental health harms. This is interesting because, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Fritzen. We gonna go over that in a second. We gonna go over that. We gonna watch the video too of her pleading guilty. And they're gonna keep on dropping because again, the more that happens, the more it's gonna encourage other people to do it. Like Donald Trump ain't got nothing to offer nobody. He accidentally won in 2016, and he went against Hillary Clinton, a historically unpopular candidate. People don't like her. People really don't like Hillary Clinton. And then he lost to Joe Biden, and he's been losing ever since. Like, he's just because people aren't enamored with Joe doesn't mean they're going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to give Trump another try. Like, bro, that's not going to happen because he's too broken. He's just too broken. There's nothing else to say. Dozens of states sued Instagram parent Meta on Tuesday, accusing the social media giant of harming young users' mental health through allegedly addictive features such as infinite news feeds and frequent notifications that demand users' constant attention. I think this will be a really interesting case to follow because I mean you gotta open the can up some type of way, um, because like it's not really Instagram or Facebook or Twitter's fault that, you know, we're all like this 24/7. I mean, obviously they play a huge role in it, but at the same time, we all use it. And it's not as if social media is all bad. I mean, social media allows us to connect with people all over the world in many positive ways. So there's a ton of good things about it. Um, but you know, social media exploded so fast and just the app world exploded so quickly. Nobody really knew what was happening. Nobody really understood the impacts that that was going to have, um, on people's mental health, on people's social accessibility. Now we're able to look at the metadata because we have 10 plus years of app usage, social media usage, and stuff like that. Now we can look at the impacts on generations in terms of how we use it, how that impacts our day to day social lives, our mental health, our physical health, our emotional health, all of that. So again, like you can't really point the finger and be like, "Oh, this is all you guys' fault. You planned this." Like, it's really a two-way street relationship. So it'll be interesting to follow from the sense that, you know, obviously we got to break up a lot of these companies or some of them at least, and talk about how we can make it less detrimental to our social and emotional health, but at the same time, how are we going to respond to these issues? You can't just shut down, and you can't just shut Facebook down or put really strict um you know uh regulations so that people can only use it for this long. Like, nah, that's really not an answer. Like maybe a little of that, but a lot of this is household stuff too. Like, doing more to encourage people to go outside. Let's get kids to play outside and interact with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a complicated issue. Because at the end of the day, Facebook and Instagram, they're just trying to make money. So like, and we own they shit. So in a federal lawsuit filed in California by 33 attorneys general, the states allege that Meta's products have harmed minors and contributed to a mental health crisis in the United States. Quote, Meta has profited from children's pain by intentionally designing its platforms with manipulative features that make children addicted to their platforms while lowering their self-esteem, said Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, one of the states involved in the federal suit. Social media companies, including Meta, have contributed to a national youth mental health crisis, and they must be held accountable. I am proud to join my fellow attorneys general to stop Meta's harmful tactics and keep children safe online. So again, like you have to bring some type of a lawsuit to really bring this to light, or challenge the companies. But you know, I don't know if restrictions, of various sorts, maybe that'll work some, but you know, maybe we can force Meta to give back in some kind of way. Maybe they can create some type of educational program, kids programs. I don't know, something like that. But we're just kind of in the digital age. We're in the thick of things now. Like we in it. You feel me? So there's really no going back. We just gotta adjust. We gotta adjust. But I think that you know a lot of this is just going to start in the household in terms of make your kids go outside and play with each other. Shit like that. You feel me? But this is an interesting conversation to have because this impacts everything, dating, all of that. Battle lines renewed. Tuesday's multi-pronged legal assault marks the newest attempt by states to rein in large tech platforms over fears that social media companies are fueling a spike in youth depression and suicidal ideation. Because like when you start to say stuff like you're purposefully lowering people's self-esteem, like yeah, but that's everybody, you feel me? It's not just kids, but a lot of that is just like um yeah, yeah, Fritza, that's kind of I think that these lawsuits will help to really force us to find solutions. You know what I'm saying? Um, but well, hold on, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like about like dating and people friendships. Like you look at like male loneliness and stuff. Like that's a big topic and a real issue. And not just maybe if people having girlfriends or access to sex, but also just having friends at all, like having any type of meaningful connections. A lot of that too does stem from being overly indulged in social media. But again, I think that it's more incumbent on us to respond to that in the household and create programs like public school programs that help kids socialize in person, like stuff like that. You feel me? Um, I think that's really what'll go the furthest. But this is a very interesting conversation. One that we should have this conversation on one of the shows, like on Lock Talk. We're gonna have Lock Talk tomorrow, and actually we're gonna talk about voting. We're gonna talk about voter registration. We're gonna talk all about voting tomorrow on Lock Talk. But this is just a really good discussion. But yeah, and again, we're all progressive. We all pretty much all of us are progressive in here, but it's like for but you can't avoid that, like, nah, you kind of got to just get off your ass and go outside. You know what I'm saying? Like transparency, I think that there should be more transparency, and perhaps companies like Meta should give back in some type of way or help to encourage kids to develop social skills in some type of way. But you feel me? Like they wouldn't be so big if we weren't the ones using their shit. So now let's check this out. Another person done flipped. Great. And again, like stuff like this, like I think something like this would be like a meaningful response. Like increased tax. I mean, obviously, not even just companies like Meta, but like all these multinational corporations definitely need to be paying more taxes. But again, like I think there's only so much blame you can give these platforms because at the same time, these platforms are awesome. Like they've changed the world for the better as well. Like, everything has its pros and cons. All of these platforms do amazing things for humanity too. So, there's only so much of the finger you can point at them for this issue. Like now, taxes, their political involvement, who they fund, the campaigns they fund, that's an entirely different issue. But when we're just talking about the technology, I think that in my opinion, um, we just, we gotta adapt. But this is a really big problem for younger generations. Jenna Ellis tearfully throws Trump and Giuliani under the bus in plea. Trump.
From Jenna Ellis. Nick. Yeah, I just got out of the courtroom where we saw Jenna Ellis take that guilty plea. The dominoes are starting to fall against the former president. Another major blow to his defense as yet another one of his attorneys takes a guilty plea in this sprawling investigation from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. We were the only out.
Yeah, nah, we definitely gonna have like a full episode, and we just gonna talk about that more in depth because it's such a good conversation. Like, I don't have kids yet, you feel me? So, there's only so much I can suggest or say in regards of the household. But like, I have nieces, and like, I think I was 14 years old when I got my first cell phone. But like, my nieces was like 2, 3 years old, and they know what to do on the pad and in the iPhone. So, oh yeah, we definitely gonna talk about this more in depth. But back to a fourth lawyer flipping on Donald Trump.
Yeah, I just got out of the courtroom where we saw Jenna Ellis take that guilty plea. The dominoes are starting to fall against the former president. Another major blow to his defense as yet another one of his attorneys takes a guilty plea in this sprawling investigation from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. We were the only outlet in court to see this impromptu hearing. It was not scheduled by Judge McAfee. And I sat directly behind Jenna Ellis, and she had really a range of emotions. It was interesting because as she was being read, the accusations against her, which she was pleading guilty, it seemed as though she had a smirk it seemed as though she had a smirk while she was hearing those charges against her. And then in a very striking moment, in an unprecedented moment so far in this trial, she stood up and addressed the court.
In the wake of the 2020 presidential election, I believed that challenging the results on behalf of President Trump should be pursued in a just and legal way. I endeavored to represent my client to the best of my ability. I relied on others, including lawyers with many more years of experience than I, to provide me with true and reliable information, especially since my role involved speaking to the media and to legislators in various states. What I did not do, but should have done, Your Honor, was to make sure that the facts the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true. In the frenetic pace of attempting to raise challenges to the election in several states, including Georgia, I failed to do my due diligence. I believe in and I value election integrity. If I knew then what I know now, I would have declined to represent Donald Trump in these post-election challenges. I look back on this whole experience.
If I would have known that I would have gotten caught and gotten in all this trouble, I never would have gone through with it. That's why I'm flipping, because fuck Donald Trump. That's basically what she's saying right now.
With deep remorse. For those failures of mine, Your Honor, I have taken responsibility already before the Colorado bar who censured me, and I now take responsibility before this court and apologize to the people of Georgia. Thank you.
Those words, the first time that we've heard from a co-defendant in this case in open court make public comments. It was such a moment in court that Judge Scott McAfee, who's presiding over this trial, made it a point to thank Jenna Ellis for hearing her words or hearing from her in real time. As part of this plea deal, she's being forced now to write an apology letter, as other co-defendants have who have taken plea deals. She's going to do 100 hours of community service and a $5,000 fine. But perhaps most importantly, as with the case in other plea deals, she's going to have to testify against the remaining co-defendants in other future proceedings and trials related to this case.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. And that's going to keep on happening because, there's just really no reason to defend Donald Trump, especially at this point, especially when people continue to drop like flies like this. Oh, we got Christina in here. Hello. It looks like I started right on time today. At first, I thought I was, I wasn't super late today, but I didn't start at 11. I started like 12:30-ish or something like that. I'm glad that you made it. And I have some news for everyone. I don't know. This might break y'all's hearts. Okay? So just prepare yourself for this news. It's really sad. Okay? All right. Kanye West is now running for president, everybody. So y'all get y'all tissue boxes. Y'all go ahead and take some time off. If you've got some paid time off, You know, if you have an opportunity to be with your loved ones and your family, go ahead and do that. Take your time, because unfortunately, Kanye West is not going to be running for president. You know, his brilliant ideas and everything, you know, just his awesomeness, his magnificence, you know, he decided not to change the world with it. So there we go. All right, now moving on. I had to get that out the way. You feel me? Had to get that out the way. Newsmax host asks DeSantis what should be done with pro-Palestine members of Congress after governor vows to deport students. Oh yeah, DeSantis. Oh God. Okay, what's he gonna say? And I mean, people ain't even discussing this dude in terms of being in line for presidency.
Without needlessly provoking some type of wider war.
Some of them were cheering what happened to the Israelis on that attack. You suggested pulling these student visas for those who are cheering it right here in the United States. Kirby was asked about it in the briefing room today. He said, we're not going to comment on everything a Republican says. And there are others that push back on that idea.
I set that up rather nicely for y'all. I didn't want to get too dramatic. I didn't want to get too dramatic, but yeah, there we go. I'm glad I set that up nicely for y'all.
Your thoughts on that, sir?
So, Eric, you do not have a right. A foreigner does not have a right to be here. They're here at the grace of the American people. If they're on a student visa, that is absolutely revocable.
There are others that push back on that idea. Your thoughts on that, sir?
So, Eric, you do not have a right. A foreigner does not have a right to be here. They're here at the grace of the American people. If they're on a student visa, that is absolutely revocable based on government policy. And so what I would say is, if you're a foreign national on a student visa, if you're out demonstrating in favor of Hamas and terrorist attacks against innocent people in Israel, I would yank the visa. I would send you home. We only have so many spots at these universities as it is. I think that we need.
Why is this? Why? But why is that even necessary? I mean, what's even necessary about that? I mean, again, obviously, Ron. I mean, he's the governor of Florida, so he has plenty of power there. But you know, it's just why is that necessary? If they not here, they not citizens. They foreigners. They here on a visa. They don't have access to benefits of any kinds. You know, like if we this is a free speech country, but bro, that's what, bro, that's terrible. And incredibly un-American too. And I'm not even some like patriot, like, oh, I love, like, I mean, like, I don't, you know, like, basically you don't see me like with flags everywhere. Like, I'm not like symbolically patriot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not symbolically patriotic in any type of way that anyone's noticed. But like, that's extremely anti-American. Like, unless you are firmly in line with Israel, we gonna kick your ass out. Like, why? Like, for what? Like, and again, like, and I haven't even been talking about it that much just because I don't consider myself to be that great of a source for information on what's going on over there. But for all intents and purposes, anybody who's paying attention to it can see that there's a whole lot more Palestinians being killed because Israel is far more technologically advanced. They have more money. They have more geopolitical positioning. They have stronger allies. All of that. Like, so of what benefit is it to kick you out of the country? It's just like, it's so stupid.
Need to do more American students to begin with. Nevertheless, we have every right to do it. And if you look at what's happened in Europe, you know, they've imported a lot of people, and now it's really
confirmed. If I had 5,000 more subscribers, I would never live that comment down. But oh my God, yo, we gonna be trolling. Y'all already know, man. When this channel blows up, man, it's gonna be a whole lot of love, and it's gonna be a whole lot of people that just love to hate my ass. But we gonna be trolling the shit out of these people. And it's gonna be such a good time. But yes, confirmed. Jackson hates America.
change the underlying dynamics of those societies. You have massive pro-Hamas demonstrations, massive anti-Semitism all over. I don't want that here in the United States. So yes, we will be
about to look at the UAW now.
very forceful. We'll send people back because we just need to nip this in the bud. I've seen a lot of stuff people take to the streets, things I disagree. That's fine. But to support openly a terrorist organization like that, I think that's a new low for a lot of these universities.
Let's take it very quickly to the next level. Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, AOC have also supported these same people. What should be done with them?
Well, look, I think Congress has talked about disciplining them when they just go so overboard on some of that. But I also think it's a lot easier analysis with like a student visa for a foreigner because they clearly don't necessarily have a right to be here. You know, those members of Congress are U.S. citizens. And so it takes on, I think, a different analysis. And you're probably more limited in what you can do. But I will say this, the fact that the Democratic Party is generating leaders like Tlaib and Omar and AOC, you know, that shows you where this country is headed if they're able to continue to expand their power. It's a very radical, very hostile to core
Margarita, hello, welcome.
American values. And yes, there is a lot of anti-Jewish and anti-Israel sentiment on the left wing of the Democratic Party.
Now,
all right, UAW strike. Catching up with y'all a little bit. Yeah, I'll be one to post the videos. I just in terms of like to chop them up from the stream, I just don't know. I just don't be having time to do it in terms of the editing. I'll do it more as much as I can, but that's gonna be like pretty much the first thing that ends up being like residually paid for. Some type of editor that can chop up content from the streams and put the videos up, because that'll help things go a long way. And there's a lot of good content, not just from this stream, but especially from the shows that we do where we're really talking more in depth about stuff. So that'll definitely be the first thing that's budgeted out. UAW expands strike to crucial GM SUV plant in Texas, hours after automaker reports earnings. All right.
We do have some breaking news on the UAW strike, but stay with us for a moment. We'll come.
I'm just going to read it because it'll be better. The United Auto Workers Union on Tuesday expanded its strike against General Motors to a highly profitable full-size SUV plant in Texas, a swift response to healthy profits and record third quarter revenue for the automaker. The Tuesday strike escalation includes roughly 5,000 workers at GM's Arlington assembly plant, which produces the Cadillac Escalade and Escalade ESV, GMC Yukon and Yukon XL, and Chevrolet Tahoe and Suburban SUVs. Oh, you said replay the live streams. Okay, yeah, I'm about to hit that up too. I'm gonna see what's up with that, especially if I ain't gotta do any editing for it. I could just set it like that. Replay live streams. Thank you. Just put it in my notes. The walkout came just hours after the automaker reported third quarter earnings results that beat Wall Street's expectations. Quote, another record quarter, another record year. As we've said for months, record profits equal record contracts, said UAW President Shawn Fain in a statement. It's time GM workers and the whole working class get their fair share. Fain's claims of record Fain's claims of record results for the automaker reference record third quarter revenue, according to the union. GM reported declining profits for the quarter. The automaker disclosed in its quarterly update that the UAW strike has already cost it $800 million in lost production before the Arlington disruption, including $200 million during the third quarter. GM in a statement said it was disappointed by the escalation of this unnecessary and irresponsible strike, of course. Mm, um, Quote, it is harming our team members who are sacrificing their livelihoods and having negative ripple effects on our dealers, suppliers, and the communities that rely on us, the company said. Time for us to finish this process. More than 45,000 UAW members at the Detroit automakers, or roughly 31% of union members covered by the expired contracts, are now on strike. Another 7,000 or so, or about 5% of the workers, have been laid off due to ripple effects of the strikes, according to the companies. The strike began on September 15th with walkouts for each of the automakers at assembly plants in Michigan, Missouri, and Ohio. They have since grown to include 8 assembly plants and 38 parts distribution centers in 22 states. The strike at the Arlington plant comes days after the UAW targeted a key plant for Stellantis in Sterling Heights, Michigan, and nearly 2 weeks after a walkout at the Kentucky truck plant that's responsible for $25 billion annually in revenue for Ford Motor. Sorry, I was just looking at y'all comments real quick. Where was I? Okay, here we are. The unannounced walkouts at profitable facilities represent what Fain has called a, quote, new phase of bargaining with the Detroit automakers. The union had earlier threatened GM's Arlington plant. On October 6th, Fain said the UAW was planning a walkout at the facility until GM made a last-minute proposal to include workers at the company's joint venture battery cell plants in company's master agreement. However, it appears that progress has since stalled. Fain told reporters Monday that talks regarding the battery cell plants were dead in the water, declining to elaborate on what the discussions stood, where the discussion stood. So again, they expanded it because GM made more money than they predicted they would. What a surprise. What a huge surprise. But it's definitely good to see that these union workers ain't fucking around. They ain't playing. You feel me? Like they they're not going to settle for less, and they shouldn't. And we need to be able to carry that spirit on. And that's why we've seen an increased number of strikes, and why we're going to see more of them, because they work. Uh, all right. Georgia Supreme Court upholds 6-week abortion ban. The Georgia Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that the state's 6-week abortion ban will remain in place. The law bans abortion once a detectable human heartbeat is present, with exceptions for incest, rape, when the pregnant person's life is in danger, or when the fetus is non-viable. According to WSB-TV, the court voted 6-1. Ooh, so then it handily won. Damn. The court voted 6-1 on Tuesday to reverse Fulton County Judge Robert McBurney's decision last November to overturn the ban. McBurney's ruling was not based on the legality of abortion, but the finding that the law was invalid since it was enacted in 2019 when abortion was still legal under Roe v. Wade. The case will now be sent back to Fulton County for the judge to determine the law's constitutionality. According to Forbes, Alice Wang, an attorney at the Center for Reproductive Rights, the advocacy organization that filed the lawsuit, said it was, quote, outrageous that the Georgia Supreme Court is allowing these harms to continue in clear violation of the state constitution. Unfortunate news out of Georgia. And again, since the reversal of Roe v. Wade happened recently, we still don't have a ton of access to metadata. We have, stories and instances here and there of like increased birth rates in Texas or different towns, different cities, but like there still hasn't been enough time passed to really discuss the full impact that the reversal of Roe v. Wade, and more importantly, well, I don't know about more importantly, but also like 6-week abortion bans and stuff like that have had. Okay, we already went over this one. We already checked out Jenna Ellis pleading guilty Why not? Why not check this out? Trump getting booed in New Hampshire. But of course, his fans remain unfazed. All right, where, oh, look at that. Then Ron can't escape this. You feel me? He can't escape it. Hold on, where's the video? I thought it was a little. Oh, here it is.
Press, let's go. Press, let's go. Press, let's go. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
Oh man. Hold on, let's see. CNN legal analyst says Jenna Ellis' guilty plea pulls the rug out from under Trump in election cases.
Ellis seems to have a lot of anger toward Donald Trump. And the question is, how will that anger that she's shown over social media transpire when she's asked to give testimony and work with the prosecutors here in this ongoing case against the former president and all of those other defendants who are still facing those charges here, Gus?
Yeah, you would think it does increase the legal jeopardy for sure. Now, the fourth of the co-defendants in the Fulton County case to enter into a plea agreement. Just stand by for 1 minute. I want to bring back Ambassador Norm Eisen here. Norm, as we said, 4 co-defendants have now entered into plea deals. She, Jenna Ellis, agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of aiding and abetting false statements in writing. Again, this has to do with statements she made alongside Rudy Giuliani in a Georgia hearing in December of 2020. None of the co-defendants has pleaded guilty to the RICO or racketeering charge yet, though. So how do any of these guilty pleas perhaps impact that, which is maybe the bigger of all the charges here?
John, they enable prosecutors, the guilty pleas do, they enable prosecutors to prove up the RICO charges against the most senior individuals who have been charged. Of course, Mr. Giuliani, and above all, the former president. And that works in a variety of ways. You need to prove 2 predicate acts, 2 of the enumerated criminal acts under that RICO statute as one of the elements of proof, for example. Well, now you're going to have Mr. Chesborough, Ms. Powell, Jenna Ellis come in, and that streamlines the proof. 5 months had been set aside for the Chesborough trial, Chesborough and Powell trial, because of that painstaking process. Now it can move much more quickly. And when you look at Miss Ellis's tearful presentation, admitting that these falsehoods that Donald Trump still continues to push on the campaign trail were lies, that she was misled, that's going to be very powerful for a jury. His defense stands on 2 legs in Georgia and federally, John. One is that he actually won the election, and the other is, that's the factual predicate, and the other is the legal argument. Therefore, I had the right to challenge it in the way that I did. Well, Miss Ellis, Miss Powell, they were purveyors of those falsehoods about him winning. They've backed down. They've pled guilty. Mr. Chesborough was a main architect of the legal theory. He's backed down. So it pulls the rug out from under Donald Trump's defense. This is very, very ominous for him as a state and federal criminal defendant. Same for Giuliani.
Norm Eisen, thank you so much for jumping on. Norm, we really appreciate it. Jessica Snyder, Nick Valencia for the great reporting. Thank you all so much. We're going to have much more on this and what it means and where this goes. But it looks like dominoes for sure. Let's now.
Looks like dominoes. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let me get this up real quick. We got Michael Cohen, who confessed to helping Trump inflate assets in fraud trial. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Yeah. Michael Cohen confesses to helping Trump inflate assets in fraud trial. Former Donald Trump lawyer Michael Cohen took the stand on Tuesday in the Trump Organization fraud trial that will decide the fate of the company. The first questions were about Trump Tower Moscow, a project to build a skyscraper in Russia, which Cohen said he lied about at the direction of Trump. Trump attorney Chris Keiss moved to strike Cohen's answer as non-responsive, saying, "I don't know if that's from a book that he's been writing." But Judge Arthur Engoron overruled the objection. It could have been shortened, but it was responsive. Okay, so he says, I was asked to handle a few other matters. It says, hold on. My bad. I was asked to handle a few other matters for Mr. Trump, which also resolved successfully, said Cohen, according to Classfeld. He asked me if I would like to leave that sleepy old firm, referring to Phyllis Nizer, where he was working at the time, and join him. He explained he never reported to anyone beyond Donald Trump, and he worked outside of the Trump Organization legal department. Questions then turned, again, his personal lawyer. Questions then turned to Donald Trump Jr., one of the company's vice presidents and key figures in the television show The Apprentice. Donald Trump's The Apprentice. He concentrated on golf as well as, again, different opportunities that would come into the company. Don, Eric, and Ivanka would split up different deals, Cohen said. Cohen now says he worked on statements of financial condition. Which he characterized as a complete listing of all the assets of the Trump Organization, which each asset broke down into an asset class. So he just went to trial today and basically explained how he did what he did. I was tasked by Mr. Trump to increase the total assets based upon a number that Trump arbitrarily elected. So make it look like I'm worth however much I say I'm worth. Whatever I say, just make it look like that. Cook the books exactly how they need to be cooked. Give me the ultimate chef's kiss gourmet recipe. Cohen testified. This is funny as hell, man. And so much of Trump's defense, so much of Trump's defense is, well, this has never happened before. Yeah, because you're the first one who's ever been in this position. That doesn't mean that it's illegitimate. Speaking of Mr. Cohen. Speaking of Michael Cohen, Trump rips Michael Cohen as he heads into courtroom to watch him testify. He's a liar trying to get a better deal for himself.
Mr. President, what do you think about Michael Cohen testifying today? Do you think it's about his loyalty?
Well, he's a proven liar, as you know. He's a felon. Served a lot of time for lying, and we're going to just go in and see. And I think you'll see that for yourself very easily. The Southern District came out with a scathing statement about him. So he's a liar trying to get a better deal for himself, but it's not going to work. This case, by any other judge, this case would have been over a long time ago. He did nothing wrong, and that's been proven. Thank you. We'll be out there.
He can't help himself. Fuck the judge, and then he goes straight back in.
If we had any other judge except for this idiot, Judge Engoron, they would have let me off scot-free.
Oh, we got Soul Life in the building. What's up? Where's Soul Life at? What's popping? But yeah, nah, man. And then he heads back into the courtroom to face that same judge. He's truly one of a kind, is he not? Vivek! We got Vivek! Vivek vents about tough interview with purported conservative Sean Hannity during friendly podcast with Alex Jones.
That's the endorsement. Just like people go, wait, they're indicting Trump for no reason. That endorses him. You are the next biggest targeted person.
Did you see this Hannity interview last night by chance?
No, I missed it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm making the case. I think it's sane that on one hand, absolutely Israel is our ally. What happened to them was wrong. It was barbaric. It was medieval. And of course, they have a right to national self-defense. But I've also said that we should not want to enter a broader regional conflict in the Middle East that doesn't advance U.S. interests because we have to learn from our prior mistakes in this country. And that's arguably not good for Israel, but it's definitely not good for the United States. And so I also pointed to others in the Republican Party, like Nikki Haley, who screech, finish them, talking about Hamas and Iran as though there's no distinction. Finish them. Okay, what are the consequences of that for the United States of America?
I didn't see it. Well, here's the problem.
Imagine being a billionaire, right? A very successful billionaire who didn't need to run for president, and now you sitting down with the likes of Alex Jones for, you know, for somebody to confide in, for somebody to tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. Imagine being in this position, like, bro, you sitting across from Alex Jones, like.
Right. So I think so interestingly, this guy, Hannity, I was very disappointed, comes after me for pointing out that Nikki Haley has made $8 million after her time as the U.S. ambassador to the UN as a military contractor and otherwise. I mean, that was the wake-up call for me, is to see even a purported conservative voice buy into what is the captured establishment super PAC puppetry last night. You should watch this one.
I will. Let me say something.
It was unbelievable.
Let me say, it's powerful. Let me say something to Sean Hannity, because I know him. Hey, Sean, the border's been completely wide open for 2.5 years. The Border Patrol admits tens of thousands conservatively of Hezbollah and Hamas fighters have gotten across. They've caught a bunch of them. Okay, these are 90% military-age men. Do you know what Hamas will do? They're here in our country. You know what Hezbollah will do? So
it's in the United States of America that we need to worry about.
Look at Black Lives Matter endorsing the attacks on Israel. So we have this problem, and Iran has high-tech military. And it's not that
I'm not even listening. I'm sitting here breaking down my weed, getting ready to put it in the bowl. Like, I'm not even listening to these motherfuckers.
Quote, scared of Iran, but we need to support Israel. But obviously,
but again, like, it's like Vivek, yeah, no, exactly, Fritz. It shows how willing to go, but it also shows how low he already was. Because it's like, what were you really looking for? Like, did you want acceptance? Did you want people to like you? Like, what is it that you were looking for? Because there's no way that you found it. And I can't imagine that his campaign. I can't sit here and say, oh, this is going to damage his company, but I can't imagine that it really helps it much. Like, oh yeah, that's Vivek's the head of that company. Like, it's just, like, what did you really get out of this except for nothing?
Not have our aircraft carriers attack Iran, and then now we're fighting Russia through NATO, and we're fighting Iran. What's going to happen, Sean? Use your head. This is how World War III starts, just like World War I and World War II. Once more wars start, other people say, hey, they're tied down. China is going to go into Taiwan, dummy. And we can't take on China, too.
And the saddest part of this is that if there are Republican presidential candidates who stand to make money off of it because they're on the boards or have been on the boards of Boeing and are collecting stock options while they're running for president and have had family military contracts.
Like, you really think Vivek doesn't know that Alex Jones is crazy and that his brand is toxic? You really think he does? Of course he knows that. Like, bro, you sitting up here having a serious conversation with Alex Jones, but you a billionaire. Like, that's pretty lame. That's whack. Like,
contracting businesses and made a habit of making money off their time in government. This is why we have one crime family right now in the Biden family that has sold off our foreign policy to make their family rich. I could care less if you have an R after your name and you're going to do the same thing.
And that's why it's so refreshing when you're on the stage. Because literally, we've said this on air, we've covered it live. I was doing Stephen Crowder. I'm like, Vivek's the only guy I can listen to. This is all talking points, crap. They're all going to do what the military-industrial complex says. And again, military-industrial complex, they said a year ago with Biden in December, we can't give tanks and F-16s and cruise missiles. That'll escalate to World War III. But they went ahead and violated their own Rand Corporation threat escalation boards. So see, your money's not going to be worth anything in your golf course stock options if we have World War III cuckoo. And now China is messing with India.
I wonder how many people started off watching Alex Jones just because he's crazy and entertaining and then ended up like believing his BS.
He's got aircraft carriers out there about to go to war.
And this is primarily just Alex Jones talking. It's just Alex Jones talking and Vivek coming in every once in a while to make a fool of himself, really. Now, this is really the best part of Trump's this is one of the greatest things that he's ever said. Exactly, a billionaire, but also be a Vivek. Like, it's just like, damn, bro, like, you really down bad out here. Ugh, I gotta get a tissue, man. My nose. Ugh. Okay, so here's the genius of Donald Trump. One sec, I'll be right back.
On our businesses. What are you doing, man? He said, Macron, nice guy. You know, look, he's for France. I'm for us. I'm for us. You know how you spell us, right? You spell us, U.S. I just picked that up. Has anyone ever thought of that? I just picked that up. A couple of days I'm reading and it said us. And I said, you know, if you think about it, us equals U.S. Isn't that? Now, if we say something genius, they'll never say it. You know, we get 25, 30, 40, 50, 80,000, 100,000 people to speeches. They've never said Trump's a great speaker. Never said. I've never heard it. I said to my people, do you think they'll ever acknowledge I must be doing okay? Except I'm a very handsome person, so I guess a lot of you want to sit. They want to sit and look at me because I'm so, like a beauty pageant. No, it's amazing.
Oh. Woo. Sorry, y'all, I had to blow my nose. We got to watch that again. I mean, look, man, like, being a loud and proud Trump supporter, it's like, bro, like in 5 years, I mean, oh my God, like looking back at this, it's just.
This is on our businesses. What are you doing, man? He said, Macron, nice guy. You know, look, he's for France. I'm for us. I'm for us.
I just picked it up. You know, I don't think anyone's ever recognized that before. I don't think anyone's ever seen that.
No, you spell us, right? You spell us, U.S.
I know how to spell a 2-letter word.
Yes. I just picked that up. Has anyone ever thought of that? I just picked that up. A couple of days I'm reading and it said us. And I said, you know, if you think about it, us equals U.S. Isn't that?
You know, if you think about it.
Now, if we say something genius, they'll never say it. You know, we get 25, 30, 40, 50, 80,000, 100,000 people to speeches. They've never said Trump's a great speaker. Never said. I've never heard it. I said to my...
I've never heard it before.
Oh, God. Again, that's why I'm saying, like, he's so stupid. Like, it's unbelievable.
People, do you think they'll ever acknowledge I must be doing okay? Except I'm a very handsome person, so I guess a lot of you want to sit. They want to sit and look at me because I'm so, like a beauty pageant. No, it's amazing.
The best words.
I know a 2-letter word that also is a metaphor for the United States of America.
How did he say that? He said, I just noticed it. Has anybody picked up on that?
You know, look, he's for France. I'm for us. I'm for us. You know how you spell us, right? You spell us, U.S. I just picked that up. Has anyone ever thought of that? I just picked that up.
Has anyone ever thought about that? I just picked that up. Bro, you've been alive for 78 years and you just picked that up. That's quite impressive. That is truly impressive. But thank you to everybody. We had a fantastic Tuesday stream. And again, we had a very good productive members meeting on Sunday via Zoom. I sent out the newsletter with the recap, but we're in the middle of putting together a nonprofit organization to help us fund progressive campaigns, help us to increase access, will increase voter registration, help educate people around the candidates that they're voting for, the policies that are available to vote for through these candidates, everything along those lines related to elections. That is what we will be doing immediately with the nonprofit organization. And over the next, now I'm busy setting it up, reaching out to people, doing what I got to do. So thank you to everybody for joining the meeting. Thank you to all the members. And thank you to all of you for kicking it with me and joining me today. We are going to have an episode of Lock Talk tomorrow night, and we're going to be talking all about voting tomorrow night, history around voting, why voting matters, how it impacts people, what you're voting for, all of that. Different types of positions within government that you may not know about, or that a lot of people don't know about, that go under the radar. We're going to be talking about all of that. So, but yeah, man, bruh, Donald Trump is something else, is he not? But thank you, everybody, for joining me. I really had a great time. I got a lot of work to do, and a lot of that work is for y'all. So I'm about to take a quick little break, and I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to get back to work. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic afternoon and evening, and I will